not many people here yet. It is quiet. You're not real strong here today. I might have to go back in the house to make sure the LED lights are turned off, but I think they are. But we shall see how things transpire here.
Yeah, you're rather light too. There's definitely some noise in the signal to noise ratio here on my receive, so I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But I think it's Henry's turn, so he'll probably have the big rig or the T3 on this morning.
Or use the other big rig.
Well, good morning, Ron. We were worried about you. Because literally I can hear all your tuning up activity, and the 3974 has been so quiet.
I know. I had things turned up here a little while ago, and went up and down. I looked at KFS and I said, man, there's just nothing but a high noise level. Well, I'm glad to add to the noise level. And I heard the tail end of Dave from the Bay Area noise, which sounds very much like the local noise. Well, all right, I got the coffee made and the first cup is in my hand. W6MQI, W7MS, and U6F.
And U6F, W6MQI. Do the Henry tweak and peek here. Yeah, conditions aren't all that good today. I think there was a event on the sun the other day, so that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, that's a really light copy on you, Dave. I'm not sure if it's my noise level here, but yeah. Okay, well, conditions can't get too much worse, so. All right, I'll stand by. And Mike, are you going to be using a big rig or a small rig?
Well, that's a loaded question, literally in many cases. But and I'm glad supreme optimism on continuing propagation is only going to get better. We'll see. Now I'm running that 32MS1B in AME upper side band, probably about 200 watts of carrier here, driving the 30S1. I originally had it set up with 15 watts of carrier, so I'd achieve about 300 watts out, but I noticed this guy drifts around in the output level, and probably not the best audio. The usual condenser microphone substitution for the original carbon mic with this guy, but it is what it is. Almost like Rose Talker, it has a positive and negative clipper, which really adds to the nuance of beautiful AM W7MS.
Okay, yeah, it's hard to simulate full double sideband wasted spectrum AM. Yeah. Well, good enough. Not too much new. I got, we've had carburetor madness over there at Larry's place, and that's all I can smell is stale gas and Permatex gaskets.
Well, that ties into a movie I watched with a deceased actor here from the early 2000s, where the main character got into the habit of sniffing gasoline. He was huffing gas. Philip Seymour Hoffman, hell of an actor. I'm still pissed off he left us too soon with his addiction issues, but that was one of the main themes of the leading character, was he was sniffing gas, and I thought that was a rather unusual storyline.
Yeah, came to mind the alkies pouring various substances like gas or what was the other one? They'd pour through a couple of slices of smashed up bread. Home chemistry at its finest. Yeah, we finally pulled apart that. We finally got fed up of trying to get that carburetor to idle, and I finally said, it's got to be. So I rebuilt that other Dodge Power Wagon 1950 carburetor that will fit up, and we found out that the linkage can even line up not that too far off. I put that on, although it wasn't pristine. I was missing one part for that, but yeah, we could get it to idle. Okay, so then we tore apart his nice, shiny, eBay rebuilt carburetor. Oh my gosh. Apparently, any needle or seat or spring that he could not get out of the carburetor because the brass caps were screwed in too tight and he couldn't free them up. Yeah, he just dumped the whole thing in the carburetor caustic cleaner, and yeah, springs were mush, ball check valves were rusty little lumps, and it was missing the whole top gasket off the carburetor. Oh well. So we have been plying the internet for more suitable full kits, and yeah, I think when we get it all torn apart when the new kit comes, why, it may actually be much safer to drive.
W6 Able, Creed Uncle.
Well, good morning, Bob. Take it away. I'm sure you've got comments on huffing gasoline, W7MS.
Morning, Mike. And the yellow partner in time of this W6 Able, Creed Uncle, Montague. Sun is shining. Dogs are all accounted for. We have not had our coffee. Wanted to throw my hat in the ring. I'll be listening. Sounds like fun. Rebuilding jugs. Not anymore. All right. Thanks, Mike. NU6F, W6 Able. Clean goal.
Okay, Bob. Glad you didn't have to go ahead and run up and down the street with your slippers and robe on looking for the dogs. So just grab the coffee. All right, I'll stand by, NU6F.
K0DWC, net control.
Good morning, Chuck.
Morning, fellas. Been listening. I got you down on the paper.
This is WA7YBS, and that wasn't me turning up. Back to you, Chuck.
Hey, Henry, good morning. How's it going?
Going okay. Hey, we didn't get any rain here. Before we get into Wampscott wet. There might have been one drop of rain, but really nothing. So that was good. I've heard Bob and Ron so far, but anyway, back to you, WA7YBS.
Yeah, okay, Henry. Yeah, we got some. I could hear it hitting the roof last night. It sprinkled for a little while. I went out and fed the horses. It was, the ground wasn't quite tacky yet, so it must not have done it too long. Anyway, it's not raining here now. I don't think it's raining anywhere around here right yet. But anyway, good to hear you this morning there, sir. And I'll give the list as I've heard them in order. In the number 1 spot is Dave. Good morning, Dave. W6MQI in the 1 spot. In the 2 spot is Mike. Good morning, Mike. W7MS in the 2 spot. In the 3 spot is Ron. Good morning, Ron. NU6F in the 3 spot. Number 4 is Bob. W6AQU. Good morning, Bob. And Henry. You're number 5, sir, WA7YBS. So is there anybody else wants to be early check-in? The number 6, you can come now.
Hey Chuck, did you say I was number 1, W6MQI?
Yeah, you are number 1, Dave, W6MQI.
Okay, man, you're really weak here today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be condition here, so I'm running a little over 200 watts. But, well, you know what, to be honest with you, everybody here's Q5, but they're, you know, it is kind of anemic a little bit. Not too bad, but must be conditions.
Yeah, Mike's not real strong here either. Henry is, and Ron, I was hearing okay. I was hearing Bob okay too, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, well, there's 6 of us here, so we might as well go ahead and get the net started. So good morning to all again. This is Vintage Military Radio Net. This is Chuck, K0DWC, and we're operating on 3974 kilocycles. Vintage Military Radio Net's a round table net. Well, you guys know the spiel. So anyway, we'll call for check-ins again, each round table sessions, and anybody has anything for sale or want, so please mention it during your turn in the round table session. So I'll just go through this one more time with the call signs. Number 1, W6MQI. Number 2, W7MS. Number 3, NU6F. Number 4, W6AQU. And number 5, WA7YBS. I'm going to make one last call. If anybody wants to check in real quick, be number 6. Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So we're on the standard net control station this morning. 213, 200 watts inverted V, V104 microphone, and that's kind of where we're at on that. So we'll go ahead and we'll go up to number 1. We'll go up to Dave, W6MQI. Go ahead and take it.
I believe I heard Bill in there. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, Bill, I copied you that time. I've got you in the number 6 spot, Bill, N6VCT, number 6. Anyone else want to be a last-minute check-in? Be number 7, come now. Okay, Bill, when you're after you're done with your transmission, you can send it back up to me, K0DWC. So we'll go back up to the top to Dave, W6MQI, in the group K0DWC.
All right, K0DWC, W6MQI. All righty. Well, conditions aren't the best today, but I'll make it work. And again, this is Dave. I'm in Livermore. And we're on the TCF setup, running a D104 mic, and I'm driving the 10-tech amplifier for a little over about 300 watts carrier to an inverted V. And we had lots of rain here. Henry mentioned he didn't get any over there, but man, we got drenched here. Cold too. I don't know. They were talking about some snow in the hills around here. I didn't get out and look around to see if we got any or not, but it was cold. Looks like it's clearing out of here now. Weather's supposed to kind of start warming up finally, so we'll see. Let's see. Well, I can't trust my thermometer. It's sitting in the sun, but it's probably about 50 to 52 degrees, something like that. And good morning to Mike, Ron, Bob, Henry, and Bill. So we're up to Mike, W7MS, W6MQI.
Well, thank you, Dave, W6MQI, in the Sunday morning military net, Nevada-style W7MS Mike in Reno. Conditions aren't that great, and as my carrier drive continues to drop, I think I'm running about 150 watts now of carrier. So, something else to be addressed on the adventure here. So this morning running the Collins commercial sideband transceiver, the 32 Mike Sierra 1 Bravo in AME. And also I've discovered this morning, since I've never actually listened on AM, that despite what the schematic and the manual tells me, the recovered amplitude modulator audio is going through the sideband filter. So it creates some issues for folks that are slightly off frequency. So it's no big deal. I just have to tune the receiver. So we'll have to address that, because the schematic shows a standard AM detector and a couple of IF transformers, which told me that it receives AM but transmits in AME. But enough of that blather. Weather report, official rain gauge, a mighty 207 inch of precipitation, and that's before the midnight hour, and virtually zero from midnight to the current time. So the big storm, the 100% certainty of snow, blah, blah, blah. Not a disappointment, but not a surprise either here on the east slope of the Sierras. So over to Ron and U6F W7MS.
Okay, good deal. Well, I'm copying all, but my dreaded interference on 75 meters widespread that's all around the Lemon Valley area. It's back there this morning, so everybody has a nice 60 hertz growl in the background. And so added with the weak signals, it's going to be a challenge. But anyhow, the big guns locally sound fine, and I can always cheat and listen over on W6SDR or the SDR at KFS. The T3 at 300 watts carrier and R390A and the BC348L, for some reason, I tune a little bit off frequency on one and on the other, and the combination of the two actually sounds a little better. And not much else going radio-wise. I haven't touched any radio projects. Like I say, alluding to earlier, we're working on carburetors, and like I said, all I can smell is Permatex former gasket and stale gasoline. Anyhow, with that, take it away, Bob, where all you smell is the hinterlands of Magalia, W6AQU and U6F.
Thanks, Ron. W6F. W6AQU. Oh, good morning, Bill. Chuck. Henry. Mike. I heard Bill. Dave. Me. I better put myself down here. Well, we've been gone for a few days, so we've got to catch up on everything. We were down in the Monterey Peninsula last weekend, and had the 40-meter antenna on the motorhome, and I didn't get it changed in time, so anyhow. Well, we had a lot of rain last night. We're sopping wet here, that's for sure. It's still raining out there. No snow. Dogs are inside, all right down. On my first cup of coffee. And oh yeah, we're running a little 3500Z and 140 watts, something like that. Whatever the voltage is now. So that's about it for now. And I'm sorry to say I did not write down who number 5 is. So number 5, you go ahead please. This is W6, Abel, Queen Uncle.
Okay. Yeah. Just checking. Checking and tweaking. Okay, that ought to do it. And, yep, well, good morning to all. And WA7YBS here, Henry in Dayton, Nevada, where it hit a little something there last night. I guess you could call it a little bit of rain, more like a drizzle that lasted maybe a minute. Wasn't much, which is good. That's fine. And as a result, this morning the antenna has remained in tune and no problems. And temperature this morning was 38, and I'm sure it'll maybe get a little warmer today, but I have to admit that the shop is getting almost habitable. It's in the 50s in the shop usually when I go out there now, so it's getting close to running the big rig. I did power the big rig up a few days ago, loaded it up, made sure everything's still working. It does. So, but today we're on the little rig, the W6MIT 1625 rig, running 75 watts of carrier power. Of course, it's fully modulated, really modulated good, which is, we can't really say that about the Viking 1. Viking 1, I don't know, it's got, it's going to go on the bench here shortly and really analyze. I think there's something actually wrong in the audio section of that. It just, it just is not working correctly. And so, anyway, this, of course, the 1625 rig is doing fine. The receiver is the laboratory model 51J4, light gray, smooth finish front panel. And of course, in the 6KC position, it has the Collins RC filter in it. So bandwidth is actually around 8 or 9K, something like that, a little bit wider. So it's AM sounds pretty good. So everybody has copyable signals. It is down from what it normally is, but everybody's doing just fine right now. So with that, let's shoot it over to Bill, N6BCT, WA7, YBS.
Bravo, Charlie Tango here in Half Moon Bay. And I was really thinking of it. I thought you should have turned it over to me, but it's just, he didn't get the message. Anyway, that's the story there. So this is back over to you, WA30DWC16, Bravo, Charlie Tango. And it was about 42 degrees this morning or something like that. We've been having rain too, but I don't have what it was down
Go ahead, Chuck.
Okay, I heard him. I heard him, all he faded out. Crazy. Okay. All right. Thank you, Henry. Good night. Let's James here and Carolyn first round and be number 7. I'd like to be number 7 for the Vintage Military Radio on that. So come down. I don't know anything. A little splatter next door. Okay, well, that concludes the first round. Trying to multitask here. Okay, well, yeah, my condition now, I think most of the time, we're about a mile and a half apart, but getting that mile and a half, sometimes there's 2 or 3 degrees difference in temperature. That could be the difference between not freezing and freezing, So, but I think I got a little bit more of a drizzle than any Sharon did. Not enough to really, not really enough to make a mess of it. Anyway, that's okay with me too. So. Anyway, not much going on here. Radio-wise right now. I've got some other stuff going on. Family stuff, this, that, and the other. So, anyway, we'll keep it going. And before I send it back up to St. Louis, just make one more quick shout out. See if there's a number 7 out there. If you want to check in your number 7, man. Okay, nothing heard. So, well, so far I can hear everybody. I heard Bill. Bill was pretty loud, and then all of a sudden he just kind of petered out there at the end. I couldn't tell if he handed it over to me or not. But anyway, everybody else is Q5 copy. A little weak sounding, but I think that, like you said, it's awesome. So, Dave, go ahead and take it. W6MQI. Start round 2. Go ahead.
All right, K0DWC, W6MQI. All right, Chuck. Yeah, your signal came up too, and I was hearing Bill actually fairly well. And then when he turned it over to you, I could barely hear you, but now I'm hearing you just fine. So I got some crazy QSB. Well, yeah, not much in the way of radio stuff going on here either. Yesterday I was going to go over to Macbeth's Hardwoods in Berkeley and pick up some hickory and some maple. It's been quite a few years since I made my last one, but I was going to make another one here, another longbow for archery. I've been watching some YouTube videos and learned some tricks I didn't know about, so I figured I'd give it another try. It'd be a fun little project. But because of the rain, I didn't go. Didn't want to get my wood wet anymore, so I didn't go. Maybe next weekend. But actually, next weekend, I think it's next weekend is the Plymouth Military Show. I was thinking about going to that, check out the swap meet, but I don't know what time it starts, the swap meet, so I'm not sure. I got to find that out. Their website doesn't really say what time the swap meet starts. I believe it's on Saturday, but I don't know what time it is. And I've been thinking about playing, reading stuff on these little regen receivers, and not that I have time for anything else, but been kind of putting some parts together to possibly build a little basic regen receiver for something fun to do. And one of them uses a 1700 KC crystal. Boy, trying to find one of those things is like impossible. So I'm trying to figure out how I could make that work. I don't know if anybody's got such a thing in their pile of parts. And Mike, you had mentioned that you bought something from QRP Labs, I think it was, to simulate a crystal. I don't know what that was that you were talking about, but I'm trying to think of how I could go about doing that. I could pipe in 1700 KCs with my DDS, but I don't want to tie up my DDS for that. But sure it would be nice to find a 1700 KC crystal. I've looked all over eBay and such, and no such thing. Other than that, not much else going on here. Yep, got to go back to work tomorrow. So, but that's about it. So over to Mike, W7MS, W6MQI.
Well, like you do the W6MQI, W7MS. I guess now we're up at about 380 watts of carrier. We'll see how the 30S1 likes that. Went in with a screwdriver, and now we're running 15 watts of draw to the amplifier. So, enough of the blither blather, W7MS. Well, fine on all the comments. And nice to hear Bob this morning. Glad to hear he was out traveling, recreating in the motorhome last weekend, but good signal. Yeah, Bill was doing fine, and he did peter out towards the end there, Chuck, so I kind of heard the same symptoms. Yes, in Henry's comments, things are warming up. It's becoming relatively comfortable to operate in various venues. So, good time of the year, and time to take advantage of springing, and I guess starting tomorrow, things are going to be back in a warming trend after this storm of the century, all 200ths of an inch of precipitation, but it's still kind of dark and nasty out there, so we'll see what develops in the forecast. 30% chance of rain, I think, this afternoon, so which pretty much means 0. But great on the comments. I'm glad to hear that Ron is busy with the carbonator issues, and I wonder if how old the purchase was on eBay of that carbonator. If he can have Larry can have some retribution with the seller on that one. But then again, watching all those videos on small engine repairs, when I got my gifted 4kW Generac generator, when I was kind of curious about
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right, I'll stand by here for a little. Give me another chance, Mike. Get that screwdriver out. The one that got you up to 15 watts carrier, and yeah, I can see him now. All right. Did you get your lower power carrier back? W7MS and U6F. All right. I guess, Mike, you're down for the count. But, yes, the 2/10 of an inch storm of the century, mother of all storms, look out for the flood. But when you only get 7 inches for the whole year in Reno, 2/10 of an inch is, well, yeah, it's almost a gully washer. And, yeah, let's see. Boy, you mentioned that. I forgot all about that. Hadn't been there for a long time. McPeak's Hardware, or Hardwood, rather, there in Berkeley. That was just down the street from where I was born. Yeah, and the making a longbow. Yeah, I'd forgotten you also did some bow and arrow stuff. I've never played around with that at all. I thought maybe you were going to go out in the hinterlands of Livermore and look for a yew tree to make a traditional longbow. Well, let's see. In Plymouth, yeah, I was going to be there. Larry and I both were going to be going there to Plymouth for the vehicle show, and hopefully able to see if we could scrounge up some more parts or leads on people with parts. And yeah, Mike, the carburetor that he got from the guy on eBay, it was a one-time eBay seller. The guy's not there anymore. So there you go. The body appears to be good. Most of the other parts not so good, but I think it'll work fine. I mean, it's amazing it worked as well as it did with all the damage inside. But there you go. You pay your money and take your chances. But yeah, so we're going to be missing the Plymouth meet. We've been planning that trip for quite a while, and yeah, the doc has other plans. I'm going under the knife Tuesday, and I have no idea what the recuperation will be like, but yeah, I'm having cervical spine surgery. The same issue I had last year show up with both arms going numb and just dropping. Very short time. Anyhow, it's come back a couple of times, so yeah. Had the MRI, took a look at the pictures, and yeah, I got major disc surgery and plates and screws and a nice collar and no driving for a month. Gosh, it's going to be driving me crazy. But anyhow, I'm glad they found the problem, so we'll see how that goes. And it's better than watching the rest of the system go down in parts. Anyhow, let's see, over to, back up to Montague. And, yeah, good deal on the trip down to Monterey. And, man, the last time I was there was probably 40 years ago. All right, take it away, Montague, W6AQU, NU6F.
And I'm back.
Well, say something then, Mike.
Well, thanks, Bob. Thanks, Ron. And my apologies. Blew a plate fuse in that fine piece of commercial sideband equipment. So, of course, now I'm on something that's really working, and that's the TCS set here that I had on last Sunday. So, just a comment for Dave. It's more than a weekend event. I'm going to be headed over Friday. And also Tom OPE plans on selling Friday per his comments last Sunday, so you may want to touch base with him on the phone for confirmation, but that's my plan, is to do a one day in and out for Friday. And it's a rug bazaar, so it's you know, there's a lot going on, but Friday's going to be my day. So with that, but you're a working guy, aren't you? So my apologies. Back to you, Bob. W6AQU, W7MS.
Very good, Mike. Yeah, you sound real good now. The TCS really looks good. All right, this is W6 Able, Queen Uncle in Montague. Yes, we had gone down to where I was born in Thise there, and all the kids were there, and my number 2 daughter hosted a big party. I made the 90th birthday, so I had to go to that. All the kids were there in Arizona and Florida. So everything went well. It was a 5-day trip for us. 2 days down, and a day and a half there, and a day and a half coming back, I guess. Burned a lot of gasoline in that motorhome. Well, that's a good thing for the service stations, I guess. Other than that, yeah, we've exceeded the rainfall, I guess, Mike, quite a bit here. But we seem to get a lot. And I need the grass. I didn't have much grass last year, but I'll be able to have a little grass to mow, I think, this year. And the guy next door running a bunch of cattle is going to be good for him. I've seen nothing but hay trucks on the road for the last 7 months, you know. People had to buy it and have it hauled in. All right. Ron, on the noise, that's a bone. I know you've been fighting that for a long time. I don't know what the solution's going to be there. Other comments? Dave, that sounds like an interesting and rewarding thing to laminate and make a bow. A lot of fun. Let's see. I will keep it going. I probably forgot some comments. Well, I think on Bill, actually he was pretty good here. But I think once the capacitor is discharged on his power supply, the signal goes way down and he's gone. Well, I don't know, Bill. We're going to have to do something about you down there on your transmitter. Anyhow, Henry, WA7YBS. This is W6 Able, Queen Uncle.
Okay, Bob. W6AQ, WA7YBS. And looking at the meters, everything looks wonderful. Okay, good copy on everybody, solid, 100% copy. So, interestingly, there are a lot of dark, ominous clouds around, and the interesting thing is I'm hearing lightning bursts in the receiver. You know, looks like it'd be hundreds of miles away, but you know, they are there. And of course, that's a sign that summer's not too far away. And so, anyway, I just wanted to mention, with all the talk about the Plymouth swap meet, that the large, exceedingly well-populated and always lots of stuff Cabela's swap meet is going to be May the 11th. So it's about 4 weeks from now. And of course it's at Cabela's there outside of Reno, really actually in Verdi. And so anyway, I hope the Heinrich Himmler of the gatekeeper there is not in charge of collecting the money. I'm certainly not paying in advance this time. But at any rate, Cabela's is about 4 weeks from now, May the 11th. Project-wise, I have an interesting piece that I got off of that eBay. And actually, it's everything the guy said it is, so I can't complain. And, you know, he went down on the price, too, so I can't complain about that either. But it is another HRO, like I really, really need another HRO. But it's an HRO7, which I've never had. And this is an unusual HRO7. It's a black wrinkle finish table model, which there is no indication from official national advertising or anything like that they ever made that. Yet there is another one on the radiomuseum.org website, and it's identical looking to this one as far as the layout. It isn't entirely black wrinkle finish. It's black wrinkle finish, except that the control nomenclature is in kind of semi-gloss black lacquer, and a two-part job, you know, of course. And the way that they did wrinkle back then, late 40s, you know, it was a two-part system, so you could spray the cabinet with black lacquer, and then you could mask off the sections you didn't want to wrinkle, and then you shot the rest of the cabinet with the wrinkle catalyst, and then you baked it, and then the wrinkle happened, you know, under heat. It was a forced heat type thing. So anyway, that's what they did on this. The question is what was it for? And, you know, so obviously it was a commercial setup, and so they made a few of them, and this one is very close to being excellent. So there you go. That's what I've been working on. All original parts, and believe it or not, it sort of functions. I wouldn't say that it functions, but it does receive signals, just not very well. So anyway, that's what I've been working on. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bill, N6 BCT, WA7 YBS.
WA7 YBS and Bravo Charlie Tango. Good morning all again. And it's fun getting up here. We're working on my house, so it's really a pain. And I've got some, I found another piece of equipment that I had down here. I've been using it. VCR and the DVD player. And so I've been playing with that. It's kind of fun to get that to work. You have to put your channel free to be able to hit it. And
Alrighty. Yeah, you just starting to fade out when I caught you. I was able to dig you out. So, very good all the way around. I'm not having really any problem with anybody. I mean, Bill was, I got 90% of Bill there, and at the end he started to peter out, and then I caught him again. So, good job, Bill. Alrighty. So let's see, for anybody else that would like to check in and be on the tail end of the second round and be number 7, Vintage Military Radio Net, come now. Okay, nothing heard. Well, I do have a funny little piece of information to share. A couple of weeks ago, last week, I don't remember. My sister called me, and she's been studying the tech manual to become a ham radio operator. And she ordered a small handheld, 2 meter, 70 centimeter, 440 handheld radio. She got it the other day, and she wanted me to go over some of it with her, and I'm like, God, I'm not even familiar with the radio. No idea, but it's just general stuff. I told her, I said, don't transmit. I said, you need a call sign before you can do that. I said, listen when you can, and I told her to go to 2 meters. That's the easiest place to go to find somebody to talk to on that stuff. And it's been 20 years or almost since I've done any of that 2 meter stuff, so I'm sure some of it's changed. But anyway, she started hearing people on, around 147 meg, she got all excited about that. So I told her, I said, just mess with the radio and listen and hear what people have to say. I said, a radio operator listens more than they talk. So she's been taking tests online, and she's going to get with, I don't know if it's going to be SNARS or the Sierra Radio Club or what. She wants to take her test in person. So then she said she wanted a base station, a high-frequency base station. I said, well, that's a different ball game. I said, just concentrate on what you got now and learn that. You can do the rest of it later. So I'm kind of excited for her. She's been taking tests, and she's been getting better every time she takes it. And there's a big question for her, as you guys know. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. She's excited about getting a call sign. So I don't know. Well, she said she'd keep me posted. So that's the excitement here. So anyway, okay. Let's go ahead and do the 7-3 round before one more check. Anybody want to be number 7? Come now. Okay, nothing heard. So with that, we'll start. Go back up to the top. The Dave. This is a 7-3 round, gentlemen. Mike, your TCS sounds incredible as usual. So you were doing pretty good on the other one too, I thought. But very good audio on the TCS set, Mike. Okay, Dave, W6MQI. Go ahead. 7-3 round, guys.
Okay, Chuck, W6MQI. All right. Mike, yeah, I actually have Fridays off, so I could go up on Friday. What time does it usually start? Like 7 or something? Curious about that. But anyway, I work 4/10, so I have Fridays off. Actually, that would work better anyway than going on Saturday. That would free up Saturday so I can go get my wood that I was talking about. And Bob, yeah, this is these bows are made out of. There's no laminations. It's all made out of a solid piece of wood. Actually, there is one lamination right at the handle, but yep, there's lots of carving to do and tillering to get the bow to bend at the right pounds and pull, 28, if you want 28 inches of pull at, say, 40 pounds, you want to put it on a tillering tree and go back and forth about 1,000,000 times and take a little bit off this side, a little bit off that side until you get it right. So it's quite a lengthy process of making a bow. It's actually kind of fun. I enjoy it. So anyway, that's about it here, and I'll say 73, and talk to you guys later. W7MS, W6MQI.
Well, thank you, Dave. W6MQI, W7MS, and thank you everyone for your patience on my rig failure, and I can't wait for the playback on wavelength radio to hear my my issues. But thanks for the comments, and Chuck, congratulations on your daughter's wants to resonate with Dad. I think that's great, and great story there. And with a little bit of sarcasm, hopefully listening to 2 meters will not quell her enthusiasm for getting the call sign. That's okay. Too much said on that issue. And let me see. I forgot to comment on the programmable clock oscillators available from QRP Labs. That's the case. There's a whole array of clock oscillator chips if you go up on DigiKey or Mauser. But the one issue is they're either going to be 3-3 logic or 5-volt logic in their square wave output. But quite an array and possibilities. And I got my little kits last week from Turkey, and Ron also has got the same ones. And I haven't, unless Ron has excelled in participation in the programmable clock oscillator realm, he may be ahead of me because mine's still in the box. Have not addressed that situation, so that's a possibility. As far as start times on Plymouth, I have no idea because I'm not going, no O Dark 30 necessary, I think, from my opinion, but maybe a phone call to Tom might be warranted if you want to coordinate with and get some advice from a Plymouth expert. And yeah, great on the on the bow talk. I was thinking, how could I correlate any of my life's history with that? And that was maybe too much information, but about circa 1968, 1969, my sister's first husband, Dennis, sent a Montagnard crossbow from South Vietnam, along with a elephant hide wallet. So that crossbow was certainly handmade in from a Aboriginal type thing, but I sure had a lot of fun with it. I don't know what happened to it. I probably threw it out on impulse eventually, but it was an interesting device, along with the elephant hide wallet from South Vietnam, circa 1968-69. But he never did send me an R390A because he was in signal intelligence and would always talk about the communications equipment. But then again, he probably would have done some time in Leavenworth if he had managed to sneak one out of the base for me. But other comments, great on the HRO7, Henry. I got a good laugh on that because you said in previous conversations on the HRO collection that was kind of in the past for you. Well, congratulations on a present, and that really has to be an attractive HRO7 in black wrinkle as opposed to the stock gray version. So it also a matching speaker. Oh boy, maybe another possibility there. But great story on that one. So I think I've covered it. And again, can't wait for that replay on wavelength radio to hear my fuse go. But with that 7.3s, everybody have a great day. Keep an eye out for any lightning and thunder activity over the top of your antenna. And U6F, W7MS.
And there's the feedback courtesy of the delayed mute on the BC348. Well, okay, good copy, and all right, Mike, I guess you'll find what took out the fuse. Well, if you listen to AMI, there's probably not much you can hear other than the fact that you were there and then you were. Well, let's see. We heard an uh-oh. Yeah, I think we heard the uh-oh. So the fuse didn't go instantaneously fast. Here you go. Well, no matter how modern compared to these older boat anchors is, it still has fuses. And yeah, Chuck, good deal on maybe another ham in the family. Carla will have some company when she gets on. Speaking of Carla, is good morning to Carla in the background with the frying pan sizzling away. I can smell the bacon. And Dave, okay, on the longbow pruning, yeah, I could picture that, like you say, since the wood is not, it may be more flexible in one part than the other, so I can see how you have to go ahead and, okay,